Hey guys, Gearful here, and today we're going to talk about the Kifaru Bedlam pack. It's a new pack for 2023 from Kifaru, and this one's going to be on their duplex light frame. Now we just wrapped up our 50 and 100 pound load test, comfort under load, and we did it using this pack as well as a pack from Mystery Ranch, Kuiu, Stone Glacier, and Exo Mountain Gear. Check out those individual videos on those packs as well as the overall load test video, which we'll link here as well.
Yep.
So for the Kifaru Bedlam, again, it's a new pack for 2023. Let's go ahead and lead off with the frame, which is the duplex light frame. I've used it quite a bit in years past with the Woodsman bag, which has long been since discontinued, but let's go ahead and lead off with the frame.
Yeah, so we can talk about comfort under load, because that's what our test was. And that was my first time using a Kifaru pack. And right away, the thing that stood out to me was the waist belt. They absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, it's a far different design than the other waist belts that we saw in the trial, the weight trial. And I got to say, it's very minimalist. It's very simplistic, but it worked so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got good coverage. It feels like it conforms to your hips well. There were no tight spots, and it really it felt like it was hugging my hips, and I was able to put quite a bit of load on there.
And I will say that you, being a taller, skinnier guy, you were concerned that the added height in the waist belt was going to perhaps contact your hip flexors, right? Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the case.
No, I've had packs. I think it was the Initial Ascent a couple years ago, and their hip belt was actually too tall for me. Maybe it was the way the pack was riding on me, but when I was going uphill, it would pinch my hip flexors. So there is a limit on how large you can make this hip belt. I think Kifaru nailed it still. And this belt was a little bit big for me anyways. So it was even pushing on, like, not fitted quite right for my body. Still no problem there.
Yeah, so the waist belt on this was probably the best of the 5 packs sampled.
Agreed.
Now the overall performance, it was not the best in all categories, but again, we'll just anchor it with the waist belt was the best that we saw in the sampling that we had. But additionally, for the frame, for comfort under load, when you look at the duplex light frame, I mean, it's pretty simplistic again.
Yep.
What you see is what you get, and this pack has a very military-like appeal to it. The straps have adequate padding. They come, more upright and over the top of your shoulders rather than having any type of angular, posture to it. I think it rode quite well. It carries the load very stiffly. The pack doesn't move with you, but that's not prohibitive or it's not, uncomfortable. But I mean, it's just a very military-like approach to carrying heavy load in mountainous terrain, and for good reason.
Yeah, no, it's not the pack that's gonna give you words of affirmation.
No.
It's the pack that's gonna say, let's go.
Yeah, I said it in the 100-pound trial that this pack just screams it's gonna make the summit whether you yourself leave the trailhead or not.
Yeah.
So,
to mention the stiffer frame, what we kind of talked about after testing all these packs is Kifaru especially, the Kuiu was similar in frame stiffness, but Kifaru especially took a different approach to basically a comfortable pack, right? The frame doesn't move with you, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a different feel. Mm-hmm. To me, it felt like I was carrying, especially when we did the 100 pounds, felt like I was carrying a brick on my back, and then there was adequate padding to conform to my body. But it was like sandwiched, and it was staying there. So not shifty, which was a huge thing, especially under 100 pounds. There was adequate padding. I found the lumbar for myself was a little aggressive. I do tend to prefer a little less lumbar. Shoulder straps, everything was good to go. The padding was stiffer. Again, like I said, it's not a pack that's gonna comfort you and make you feel good, but it's definitely a pack that's gonna get it done, and you're gonna be comfortable doing it. You don't get hot spots. You don't get, there's no points that will ruin your pack out.
No, this pack is gonna last for a long time with many successful pack outs. It's built that way. And with that being said, I think I need to cover the specs that pertain to this pack.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this Bedlam with the duplex light frame is going to weigh in at 6 pounds, 8 ounces. It's made in the United States. It's also going to cost $800. And the overall cubic inches of cargo carrying capacity is about 4,900 cubic inches. So
it's the most expensive and the heaviest pack that we've reviewed out
The
of these five.
heaviest, the most expensive, and it's also the smaller capacity bag of the sampling that we had.
But then that being said, it has a ton of options. And in terms of perceived durability, I mean, their slogan is gear for life. So they're not messing around in terms of build quality. They're not cutting corners to shave weight. They're making a pack that's gonna last. And our big conclusion with the whole pack review is that, you know, an extra pound, even 2 pounds, it's not noticed. I think that the pack weight is somewhat negligible, especially when you get into 50 and above, because we found that lighter packs that shift on you or cause poor posture are going to fatigue you far more than a heavier pack that gives you proper posture and load security.
But there are those packs that are significantly lighter that can still carry that 50 or 100 pound load, whatever your weight is in that range. Perhaps, you know, at an even higher level of performance and comfort than could the Kifaru.
Yep.
It all comes down to the user preference, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So,
but I think the conclusion here is pack weight is not indicative of pack comfort or fatigue.
no, I'm willing to give up a few ounces or perhaps even a pound on the unloaded weight of a pack and frame if I have trust and confidence that it's going to perform at a higher level when weight's applied.
Yep.
So,
Agreed.
so that being said, let's move on to the bag.
Yeah. You want to take it away?
Yep. So again, this bag is the Bedlam. This is new for 2023. It doesn't come with a lid. All the other packs in the sampling for the test did. However, Kifaru does sell lid options that can be easily applied to this bag. It does offer some customizing ability to it.
Yeah.
Anywhere you see these Cordura Molly strappings, if you will, you can easily attach any one of their accessory pouches. I did it on the Woodsman. It works very well. And when you don't want it, you hardly even know they're there.
Sure.
So for general bag design, you got 2 standard buckles with their own locking mechanism. Some will choose to prefer that and some will not, what I've come to find.
I'm personally not a huge fan of the locking mechanism, especially in cold weather.
Especially in cold weather where you've got thicker gloves and you lose some of that dexterity.
Exactly.
Again, we'll say it, you know, time and time again, personal preference. However,
100%.
I don't think it's necessary. Some people do, and that's fine. Anyway, the main bag compartment is going to have your drawstring shroud type top, and then it's also going to have a zipper down the length, the majority length on one side of the main compartment.
Yep.
Now,
So you have
before
plenty of bag access there.
you got plenty of bag access. You got
really
4,900 cubic inches of carrying capacity here, and there's no limited accessibility to get into it.
Yep.
So, for the other aspects of the exterior of the bag, you've got that Hellbender type front pouch. That's for those who prefer, quick storage of like an insulation layer or really whatever you'd like. However, you can put a puffy in there very quickly. You can pull it out very quickly.
I'm thinking rain gear for that, man.
If I'm
hunting somewhere that rain's coming, it's like quick and easy.
Really good mention there. And then with these 2 straps on each side of that Hellbender type pouch, you can set adequate retainment so that you have peace of mind as you're moving over terrain that you're not going to lose a critical piece of gear.
Yep.
On the sides of the Bedlam, you've got these side pouches, pretty traditional. They don't have the ability to set tension with like a drawstring and lock mechanism. However, there's adequate girth, if that applies here. So it'll receive, the buttstock of a rifle or, the legs of a tripod, the ends of your trekking poles, you name it. You can get quite a bit in there. I'd even venture to say you can get your standard Nalgene depending upon how much stuff you have inside your main compartment.
No, I'd say so. And that's kind of a complaint of mine across the board is a lot of packs will have too small a side pouch to make it usable, especially for the butt stock of a gun, a full-size Nalgene. Having adequate size here is good, and this pack definitely does that.
Yep. So you got that pouch on the right side of the bag as it's worn. On the other side of the bag, you're gonna have a spotting scope pocket that's zippered and dedicated. In my mind, this is dedicated to a spotting scope. I mean, that's what I would use it for.
100%.
But it's a pretty sizable pouch. I mean, it's almost full length of the main bag.
Right.
and it's got a good full length, or it's not full length, but it's probably 3/4 length zipper.
Okay.
So you can get in and out of it freely, such as if you have a very large diameter objective lens on your optic.
Right.
You're not going to be hassling with getting it in and out on this side pouch of the Bedlam. So,
and I will say, I do appreciate, it feels very purpose-built. Like any pack that has a spotting scope pocket, you're probably not going to be able to use the Nalgene pouch or the side pouch here.
on the same side.
On the same side.
Yeah.
So they're like, why would you put a pouch on one side, put your spotting scope on the other? That's how you should use it. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then like many other pack manufacturers, they do have accessories at Kifaru that you can get, such as a hydro holster.
Yep.
Or whatever you like, But
Totally.
Anyway, that's the main compartment. Let's go ahead and dive into the meat shelf design.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the meat shelf on this duplex light frame of the Kifaru, I'll just go ahead and point it out. This fabric you see here between your shoulder straps is actually part of your meat shelf. Now to access it, go ahead and disengage your load lifters. And then between the frame and the pack, there's gonna be a strap and buckle on each side. Pretty standard, often seen on other packs that we tested as well. But you gotta give yourself a little bit of slack, which I'll do now. And what this slack is going to enable you to do is pull the bag up and off the upper stays of the frame. So
unclip these two right on the side.
oh yeah, I forgot about them. These ones were already done.
Okay.
So then the main bag comes up and off the frame, and the main bag will lay down. And from this point, you're looking at the frame, you're looking at that piece of fabric that was seen between the shoulder straps. And then this would come over and it engages with the straps found on the frame to make a little bit of almost like a sling.
Yeah.
So that when you're loading, your quarter and your game bag, you have something to press. It's holding it in place while you strap it, with the bag on the buckles on the side.
Which I think is really important, because there's nothing worse when you're hiking and carrying a heavy load and that meat starts to fall out and starts hitting you in the butt, and you're just like, your whole load is sagging out from under your pack. That's awful. It's a terrible way to carry meat. This prevents that.
I think a lot of us have been there with when we've chosen to bone out.
Exactly.
That meat takes its own shape, and that shape is ever changing over the miles of the pack out.
Absolutely.
Right? But ultimately, when you lower the main bag, you fold your meat shelf over. You attach it to the buckles and straps that you had loosened previously to get the bag up over the stays of the frame, and then thereafter, you lift your bag back up and you use those same side buckles to secure that load between the frame and the bag.
And what's cool about the Kifaru frame is, although there aren't clips on it right now to attach the meat like itself to the frame, you've got the loops, and these clips are removable. So a lot of, I don't know what you call that, not adjustability, but customization opportunity with this pack. You can move these to different ones. You can add clips that will hold your meat to the frame. There's so many options with this pack that, you can't really complain about it. If you do complain about it, it's probably because you don't have it set up for you.
Probably.
Right?
And then that being said, when this pack or a Kifaru pack is new to a user, how they have it set up on that first hunt or two is likely going to change how they have it set up on the hunts that take place thereafter.
Yeah, definitely.
It does have modularity. It does have the ability to remove those buckles freely, like you suggested. Or you can get like an accessory buckle and strap kit. So you can just have more retainment of a load on the meat shelf, and then when you're not using it, they don't have to be in place.
Yep.
They can be in like a pull-out pouch or something like that. But
Totally.
ultimately, a very robust pack, smaller in capacity at 4,900 cubic inches again. It really does look like it's built for life.
Yeah.
It comes at a high price point, but it's made in the United States. So.
And it's quality built. All the stitching, everything is solid. You look at the reviews on these packs and it's like top notch. So it's really hard to argue that this is a pack that's going to hold up for you. Bags are modular. Like I said, if you're not happy with this pack, it's most likely because you don't have it set up for you.
True. And again, not that this pack excelled or performed any better than a select few of the other packs. It's just, again, a different approach to carrying load in mountainous terrain.
Absolutely.
So if you're the grin and bear it, military-like personality, this pack might call to you.
I bet it does.
So anyway, that's the Kifaru Bedlam on the duplex light frame. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, we at Gearful don't sell this pack, but we included it in our 2023 pack trials at 50 and 100 pounds. Be sure to check that video out. We will help you any way we possibly can. Contact us at gearful.com, and thanks for watching.